Our guest today is a former member of parliament, served 2 terms in Marakwet West. He has done many things since then, and he'll be telling us about that. He also is the leader of a political party called the New Democrats. Mheshimiwa David Sudi, welcome to the Situation Room.
Thank you.
It's good to have you on the show, and it's good to have people with alternative voices also coming to have this conversation with us as a country. We call that the hot seat, so you just enjoy the heat as it rises.
Thank you.
during the conversation. You served for 2 terms in Parliament.
Yes.
And when was this?
This was from the 1998 to 2007.
Mm-hmm.
That was being the last term of former the late President Moi, and Mwai Kibaki, the second term, the first term of Mwai Kibaki, the last term of President Moi, and the first term of.
So you had 2 terms as a member of parliament.
Yes.
Yep.
Transitional, you know, coming with the old and coming with the new as well.
Yes, correct. So I'm full of wisdom from his.
From those 2 times.
So I know the transaction. I mean, the transition we came from 1900 to 2000.
Right, jumping into the millennium.
Yeah, crossing the millennium.
If you look actually at the performance of, that was the 8th Parliament, the 1997 to 2000, and then the 9th Parliament of 2003 to 2007. If you compare those with the performance of now as an observer, the current Parliament, how would you rate the current one?
The current Parliament is has failed in many things, because it is people are wrapped down their own personal needs. They don't care about the voter who has voted for you. You came in, you campaigned, and then when you go into Parliament, you don't care whether I put food on my table or not. And that is where
that's what you consider one of the biggest failures of the current one. But
this
is this different?
Happened before? Are we not? We've never seen a situation like this before. Are we saying that the current Parliament are the only members who've behaved in that manner? Because it's a puzzle to us as well. We see that you ask for a vote, and then getting into the assembly, things change. Are they the first ones to have behaved like this?
No, they're not the first ones. Of course, even in your home, you have children in different types. But the majority now, they are so selfish. They don't care about the masses.
Why is that?
I think it's because the economy part is acting, and then the number of people have increased. So there are so much mouths to be fed. Yes. So in that case, that's where they lose direction to assist the people. Initially, when our forefathers fought for independence, we fought for 3 things. One was kumaliza uchinga through education, which has been done through Minister of Education. Now, the other one is magonjwa, which has been done through Minister of Health. And the pain was to clear poverty, which was never addressed, because as soon as those ones who were voted in, they only looked at themselves, and they forgot the masses.
You know, as a former member of parliament, we're going to have to ask you, how is it that in the 2 terms that you are a member of parliament representing your constituency, did you act in a manner that was different from what you're actually saying?
Yes. When I was given the opportunity to serve on the first term, we had wisdom. We had the President Moi was the one who was driving the vehicle, and we would rely on his wisdom. When he tells us do this, we do. On the second term, when President Kibaki was in State House, we had to consult within ourselves, and we came up with Community Development Fund, which later transited to Constituency Development Fund. Initially, wanted to help the communities by helping the community to do some business for themselves, so that they can empower themselves.
Well, that was the thinking originally.
Yes, that was the thing original. But and then later on, it changed to constituency, because people wanted to develop schools, to develop whatever infrastructure. I told them, this will not work. Let us develop the people so that they can now, when you empower the person, whatever you have given them, it can trickle down to do the work. Once people have
been empowered.
Even the nation, people give taxes. Even judges, when they go to church, you have money in your pocket. You can give money to Asadaka and so forth. But people will not listen. They wanted to put money into projects, into schools, building big institutions. I told them, that is like burying wealth in the pit. It will not.
You've been given talent, you buried it.
Yes, you buried it. So you better put on the people, empower the people, and then from there they can now move.
What was your idea of this empowering the people, if not going through projects in the CDF?
Yes, what I wanted to do is, or our thing initially was to empower the people through projects, which can bring resources later on. Like in my case, I wanted to make sure that I give people, maybe buy them a cow, put them in groups of 10, give them a cow, and the milk from this cow will feed the group, will feed the people. And if there's anything extra, they sell and make whatever, and make money. And many others, even in my place, there is Barreto which grows, there is potatoes and so forth. So that's how you can empower the people.
But let me ask the question now, with the promulgation of our new constitution and with the setting up of the county system, do you think that this maybe went some way in achieving what you had envisioned would be the way to go in terms of making sure that people actually benefit from their leaders and from the leadership of the country?
Yes, that is true. That is why devolution is there, because we wanted to reach the common man on the ground, and that's one thing which we are thinking, that if resources can reach the common man on the ground, then the economy will grow from bottom to going up, rather than waiting for people who are in leadership to assist the person in the ground by giving them handouts. That is what has killed our economy, because the people on the ground are not productive. They are only waiting to be given money. And you see, for how long are you going to give this money? And this is one thing which President Uru asked me on we're in Parliament together. For how long are we going to give people money? And I've got an answer now. We need to empower these people. So,
how is that going to happen exactly? I mean, it sounds really nice to say. It sounds aspirational that we need to stop giving out these little tokens to people and empower the people through. How will it happen? What needs to be present for this to become a reality?
It is very possible, because...
Oh, sure, it is possible.
Yes. The only thing we need to tell the person who is your voter or whom you are leading, please do this yourself. Put your work, because God put talents in all of us, and if you can use that talent which God has given you, you will be very productive. You will not only be waiting for someone to give you something.
Sure, but if we're going to be realistic, the job of government is to make the environment conducive for these things that you're talking about to happen. if the government is not making the environment, if governance is not happening, if leadership is not taking its position to make these things happen, they remain pipe dreams. I can have a talent and I can have a desire to lift myself out of poverty as a citizen of the country, but if the environment is not being made conducive for this to happen, which is what we are experiencing today with rampant corruption, lack of leadership, etc., then I can as well eat my talent.
Yes, we can approach it on a different perspective. That every Kenyan has a responsibility. What have you done yourself? Because if you ask yourself an hard question, that the mother who gave birth to me is not the same as the one who lalisa uru ama lalisa ruta ama lalisa nani. It's the same. Now let us we need to. The problem in Kenya is we point fingers at somebody else. You don't look at yourself. That's where the problem started.
But Mheshimiwa, you see, the finger pointing, if it's only looking at negative things, is not something that anybody can support. But sometimes finger pointing is simply pointing at something which is true and saying, this is this way. Like you said, you finger pointed when you mentioned this particular parliament has failed because it's like they've all sat and agreed that all they're going to do, that's my perspective, that they're just going to eat and not look after the interest of their people. Okay? Yes, it's just pointing out. Now, where finger pointing becomes negative, when all you do the whole day is just look for faults in other people. Yes. That is counterproductive. Yes. But let me now ask the question I want to ask. You said you represented which particular area?
Marakwet West constituency.
Okay.
Yes.
If there's Marakwet West, it means there's Marakwet East.
Yeah, there is east.
Is there north and south?
No, we are in county called Elgeyo Marakwet County. It has 4 constituencies: Keyo South, Keyo North, and Marakwet West and Marakwet East. So we are 4 constituencies.
What is that area known for? What are the good things that if I visited Marakwet, you said East? West. If I visit Marakwet West, I can look forward to seeing.
Our constituency transfers from the valley, go to the middle escarpment area, to the islands.
Okay.
So you'll find all the type of vegetation going up.
All right.
In the valley, you grow pawpaws, bananas, mangoes, and so forth. Everything there is
the land is very arable.
Very arable and very good. When you go in the islands, there is Paretram, there is sheep, merino sheep, cattle.
But then this is a very rich. This is a very rich constituency.
It is very rich, and my people are not poor.
Yes.
Because at least they can feed, they can eat.
Yes.
Because they have everything. God has given them a very productive area. But we need to empower them by empowering them, not by giving them money, by giving them knowledge that this is supposed to be done like this and this word. And that's why part of my leadership, we're going to introduce what we call extension officers, agricultural extension officers, to help the people on the ground. And which was done initially, but after some time now, people started.
It died.
It died.
Many things happened around that time. So I want to come back to you. Well, the very many things that you've said this morning, and we can actually start saying. David Sudi, when he was an MP, he was among the pioneers of the thinking behind development at the community level. And you're thinking about it in terms of community development fund. It was later turned by your fellow members of parliament. It became constituency development fund, and it focused on projects. But that wasn't your initial idea. From what I've heard you say, it sounds like David Sudi was also the pioneer of this bottom-up approach that's now becoming a buzzword in the country. He wanted bottom-up economic empowerment of the people. CDF came to fruition when you were still in office. So what did you do with the CDF that we can say others were doing this, but David Sudi was doing this?
I'm happy because what the foundation I laid in my constituency from funds from the government has really worked. And you could see today there are good roads in my area which assist the people to transport the goods to market within the shortest time. The hospitals there which are there, people if you become sick, you can get medicine on time. Water, I also assisted a lot of water projects, so people can get water. They don't go to the river down and put it on the head, and at least now they have so many taps in that place. Now that is some of the, apart from building in schools and taking electricity to schools, because this was my idea that even a child in Nairobi who studies the same subjects, and the child in reserve who doesn't have electricity should go to the schools, so that when they study they can be doing well. And that's what I did, and I'm proud that that's worked.
So you didn't do the things that you initially were talking about, buying cows for the people, empowering community at that level?
At the moment, we have an investor who is coming, and this is why I want to go back and do that. Okay. So that, and I'm not only going to empower my constituency, I'm also going to empower the whole of Kenyans, because this is a national party, and the symbol is a bridge. For what I'm saying now is the writings on the wall. If you go to the registrar of political parties, God has put the party there. The registration number is 40, which means end of 40 years to go to cross River Jordan to go to Ghana. And they say
so you're Joshua,
because the one thing is what is happening in the Bible. What was written in the Bible is exactly what's happening now.
Okay. Now you've actually segued into the conversation that we're having, the alternative voices in the political discourse in the country. David Sudi is one of them. He's a former member of parliament for Marakwet West, served in the 8th and 9th parliament between 1997 up to 2007. He was there. Now he's the party leader of the New Democrats, registration number 40, and he says even that is symbolic. If you'd like to get any of the conversations that we have on in the Situation Room every weekday morning, you can get them on our social media platforms. We have the conversations recorded and shared on SpiceFM KE, YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter or Instagram, and now you can also get them on your mobile device. Just text the word TSR. Okay, those are letters. Text the letters TSR to 22840. That's 22840, and you will be receiving highlights of the Situation Room on a daily basis. In the room this morning, Siti Muga, Nduwoko, Eric Latif. And our guest today is David Sudi, former MP for Marakwet West constituency, and now party leader of the New Democrats. He's come here today because we are discussing alternative voices, and he's also come with some literature. One of them is this booklet with the headline, "Can One Man Save a Nation?" And he quotes Ezekiel 22, verse 30. Honorable David Sudi. And you also, before we went to the break, you told us your party registration number is 40. And it is symbolic. It's the end of all these many years in the wilderness with the promise of crossing over into Canaan. And now here we are crossing over into Canaan. So you are the real Joshua. The others have been imposters.
Yes. I'm David.
Okay.
And
our future king.
I wear so many hats. This is the problem that happened in Kenya. The rain started beating us when we adopted symbols of political parties, when we adopted images of creatures created created by God to be symbols of political parties. And the people started to worship, to praise. This is against the second commandment of God. We say, do not bow I remember when I was in Kano, the symbol is a cockerel. And I did that, and many of these people in Kenya did the same. So God has brought me so that we can save these people from going around the wilderness for a long time. Now the God has given us a way. What is happening in Kenya now is biblical. Jubilee and Canaan are words from the Bible. And I'm here this morning in the situation room. Now, thank you for inviting me to this place. This is the situation in Kenya which we need to address. Jubilee means cancellation of debts. But you can see now in Kenya, debts are rising exponentially. Until children who have not been born, maybe they'll be born in 10 years or whatever, they have debts. And we are promised to go to Canaan. The handshake between the President Uhuru and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, it was just an handshake, but it is more than that. Deeply, it was Raila handing over his failed mission of taking Kenyans to Canaan to Uhuru, so that Uhuru can take Kenyans to Canaan. And here I am, come, so that I can give them the bridge to go to Canaan. There is no need of building bridges in this city when God has already given us a bridge.
What's that bridge? I must ask, what is the bridge? Are you saying that you, David,
it is our symbol,
are the bridge?
The symbol of the party. And this party has the summit. The summit of the summit is a 9-letter word. A 9-letter word is knowledge. Now, the summit, the first T is for the Roman Catholic Church. The H is for the Protestant churches. The E is for evangelical churches. S, I am the party leader. U is the chairman. The first M is the Secretary General. The second M is the treasurer. And I is for Islam. And the last T is for Seventh-day Adventists. You'll see that the summit, there are 6. These people bring we pray on Sunday. On Monday is my responsibility to pray for the nation of Kenya. Tuesday is for the chairman to pray for the nation of Kenya. Wednesday is Secretary General. Friday, Thursday treasurer, and Friday Islam, and Saturday Seventh-day Adventist. So this is exactly what Joshua was told by God, that let the Levites carry the Ark of Covenant. And when they carried the Ark of Covenant, when they stepped on River Jordan, the water split. So now, this is God talking. It is not me who said, let us have 7 days. God worked for 6 days and rested on the 7th day. That's a week. So, and also for me as David, when David went to the battlefield, he saw a Palestine who is harassing the army of the Lord. And he said, who is this uncircumcised fellow harassing the army of the Lord? And went to a river and picked 5 stones and used 1 stone to hit Goliath, and he died. Even now, the 5 stones are the Roman Catholic Church. These are the Levites, the Protestant Church, the Evangelicals, Islam, and the Seventh-day Adventists. These are 5 stones, and we will combine them to one. We'll go across River Jordan.
Where have you left the Jehovah's Witness?
Jehovah's Witness, which day?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is
this on Sunday? Yeah. So everybody is there. Okay. The Protestant churches are many. All those are Protestant churches.
Okay.
So everybody is taken care of. Other Judaism, because it's the Sabbath.
If I were to say that you have taken biblical prophecy and interpreted it to suit your political goals, would I be wrong or would I be right?
Well, if you remember, God who created us, we are told by President Moi that siasa ni maisha. And the siyasa bias mabaya. Now, when God brought us to this world, He brought us to live in a good life.
He did.
And this is why we need to apply the principles of the Bible, what is written in the Bible. Why we always quoting the Constitution, and yet you forget to quote the Bible.
Because not everybody subscribes to the Bible.
And the Quran, everything.
And you know, in your mention, you forgot a significant group of people, the Hindus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am mentioning this
Yeah.
simply to point out that people have different faiths and they abide by different dictates that are contained in their different holy books. That's really the point I'm making.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes.
That's all right. But you see, from my Bible, which I read the Bible, I find that Israel being the first, our firstborn, from the first wife. If you read in Genesis 4:19, you find a man called Lamech. Lamech married 2 wives. Ada, which means letter A, which means alpha, and Sila, which is the second wife, Seth. And this is where we came from. The first wife, Ada, are the 12 tribes of Israel. The second wife, Sila, are the 42 tribes of Kenya. We are living in the 42 cities. In the book of Numbers, God told Moses that 5 or 6 and 7.
You know, Mashme, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, you know, for a moment there my mind traveled and I thought I was listening to a Sunday service. Then I realized, no, I'm in the studio and I'm listening to a politician. So I have to ask the question, have you ever been a preacher?
No, I've not been a preacher, but I'm rooted in the word. I follow.
You subscribe to the Christian faith?
Yes, I subscribe to the Christian faith. And this is where we need to, all of us, to subscribe to. Because we don't need to pretend. God says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. When we are passing each other on the road, we have to be, we need to embrace each other. And that's why you find vehicles crossing the road. They don't bump into each other. They obey.
Can I ask you perhaps a more earthly question? You have a party called the New Democratic Party. And the party is in a region that right now seems to be very pro-UDA. How exactly will your party relate to UDA?
Well, that is as far as I'm concerned, the symbols of political parties are idols, and it's against God's second commandment. God gave us 10. Do you see the way we have 10 fingers? These are the 10 commandments. And one of the commandments, do not steal. This is the 12th parliament, by the way. And 12, God said, as a beacon of time. Whenever it reaches 12, it starts 1 again. So, what should happen is the president should take us across River Jordan because his term ends in 2022. He should call for a snap election because following the Maragas
advisory.
The Supreme Court's determination.
Yes, he should actually honor that and call for snap election so that we start from county. We have first parliament. I mean, first county assembly, and then even in national assembly we have first national assembly and senate. Yeah, you start one. We move from there, carrying on, go forward.
What I don't get is the answer to CT's question. This political party is coming to play in the political field today.
That is dominantly.
That
yes.
In the area where you come from, I'm assuming that UDA will be a dominant party in the next election. You are saying that Uhuru is the man who's going to now lead us to that point, the end of the river, and then we need to cross over into Jordan. Is this party the one that's going to help us cross over into Jordan? And what is it? How is it going to help us cross over into Jordan? Your party.
Yes. Crossing River Jordan to Canaan is the ideology of our party. And And when you cross to Kanan, land of Milikanani, you are given, we went to assemble people in groups of 10 registered in every political party. I mean, registered in every polling station. And we will give them a cow, a fake cow for milk. Because going to Kanan is land of Milikanani. So we that is how we can empower our people from class to from whatever. Now, you talking about UDA, initially, people are following people. We need to follow. We need now to change. We need to change so that we get the right political party. This is where I'm giving the people, this is the way to go to Canada.
And when you go to political party now leads us to idolatry.
Does your party have a symbol?
Yeah, it's a bridge. It's a bridge. God has given us a way to go to cross. That's why I'm saying there's no need of BBI, because when you are a human being struggling to build BBI, building bridges, already God has given us a bridge designed with 42 pillars, which means every tribe in Kenya is holding a pillar to cross over.
When was this political party registered?
2006.
In 2006. Oh, it's been in existence for quite a while.
Yeah, we have one member of parliament from Boni. We have six MCS. The other day we took legs.
Oh, this was the party.
Yes, and even we were in Kiamba.
In Kiamba, you had a candidate.
We have a candidate, but people don't see that this is the way to go to Ghana because they are rooted to human beings. They think that.
So, what does the campaign? Let's now look at this recent and very present by-election. There was a candidate for the New Democrats in Kiamba.
Yes.
When the others were campaigning with bottom-up approach and everything else, what was your candidate's message during the campaign?
It was okay. Our candidate was telling them, let us be sincere. Vote for me, and I will change, and we'll change your life. But you see, the problem in Kenya, the Kenyan politics, it is those who have been there were voting in whether it is Uru, were voting in whether it is Ruto, were voting in whether it is Israel. They are stuck into the minds of people, which we need to change. We would pray that using studio like this, that we can empower the people to tell them we have to go to a change.
Okay, so what you're saying is that what is going to solve Kenya's problems in the future is to focus on economic development as opposed to looking at individuals. And this party is going to be able to do that in a manner that nobody else has been able to do. What is going to convince you? What is going to convince Kenyans that actually this is the way to go? What is it that is different from what Kenyans are hearing before? Because you're saying now, okay, the 40 cows that will be given to people in a particular community. This is a promise. It's aspirational. It's not any different from what people have said when they stand in political rallies, for example, and say, I will bring you a road. I will build a school. It sounds to be the same thing to me. What is fundamentally different about this? And why would Kenyans latch on to this idea?
Yeah, you don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been reinvented elsewhere. So we are bringing in here only we are bringing it to the people so that they can. Politicians have been promising heaven and earth and delivering none. So we need to tell the people, let's try a different avenue, which is godly. Because God has sent me. And one of the reasons why I'm telling you, remember Moses in the Bible, when in the burning bush, God appeared to me when I got an accident in the year 2000. I was dead completely. I was in ICU for 22 days. And those people who know me, like Kalonzo Musyoka, Musdavadi, Ruto, Uru, all those people were in Parliament. They know that I actually came from God returned me back. And it is true. what is written in the Bible is the truth. I was there. I was only, the door was not open that I could enter in. Maybe I would not have come back. But I was sent back to heart that God is going to raise 7 generations. 7 generations, which each person will listen to this message which I'm giving you, which I've given you, will live for minimum 7 years. So that what is written in Genesis 4, verse 24 come to pass. And he made me to rotate. And I rotated in a circle. 7 times 7, 7, you get 539 years. I was made to rotate, and when I rotated, I was thrown out from heaven. I was already on bed, an ICU bed. But when I was thrown down, is when the machines from ICU started working. So that generated letter R. This letter R, God is warning us. It's also for us to go to Canaan. Uhuru should dissociate himself from Ruto and Raila. Should part ways. Just the same way Abraham from the town of Ur, U-R, parted ways with Lot when they were in Egypt. Each of them went his own way because of when the shepherds quarreled.
Can I ask a question?
So the same thing is repeating here in Kenya.
Yes.
That where these people should pass away, so that Uhuru can drive around the bus alone.
Okay. Can I ask this question? Are you going to present yourself as a candidate for the presidency in Kenya in 2022?
No, I'll contest for my constituency in Marakwet West as an MP. Let Uhuru finish his term, and I'm just a servant of God. I'm just been sent that this is what's supposed to be done.
So you have no presidential aspirations whatsoever?
No, I don't have.
And your party will not present a candidate?
No, we don't. That's why we are saying we want Kenyans to go to Canaan. We are tired of going around this.
So who's going to lead us? Who's going to be our Aaron?
The message which I'm giving you, Aaron will be you guys. I'm like Moses. Okay.
But Moses had a leadership position. He basically led the people and said he
Up
was
to
the
the
one who
river,
was making
the edge of the river.
Actually, Moses was president.
Yes, he was. So I mean, he was making. He heard directly from God and took it to the people.
Yes.
So I'm hearing you saying that you basically what you have are the answers, but then you're going to kind of sit in the back and hope that the message that you've brought will be accepted and listened to, and the people will run with it.
It will be accepted because Kenya is in 99.9 God-fearing people, God-loving people, and
Mheshimiwa, there, 99 God-fearing. How do you arrive at this conclusion that Kenyans are God-fearing? Because 99.9 is literally every Kenyan. And we're not talking about the gods that the Christians refer to, the Muslims, just God, however one perceives them.
A supreme being.
A supreme being. How exactly do we determine that Kenyans are God-fearing?
From statistics, when they were doing census, people from every place they say they are whom their God is, if they are Christians or Muslims or whatever. You find that about 99.
They are affiliated to some religion or the other.
Yes.
You see why I was taking up the issue of God fearing, because if somebody is God fearing, then they will behave in a certain way. They will conduct themselves in a certain way.
Yeah, that
Not
is true.
necessarily. They could be falling short of the glory by just misbehaving. We've seen it very many examples in the Bible. They were God-fearing, but look, they spent 40 years in the wilderness.
They spent a
breaking, worshipping things left, right, and
That
center.
is true, Eric. But the concept I'm talking about here is not one that doesn't relate to human beings will and must make mistakes. I am saying when you look at what they do predominantly, it will be something that resonates with the people. But when what you see predominantly is the complete opposite, then I would venture to say that they subscribe to a really strange God.
Mheshimiwa, as we continue with this conversation, many thoughts are crossing my mind. Number one is the ideology of the New Democrats. I've heard very many things that you've said, biblical reference and all, but none of them has actually come out to me as the one sentence that we can say, this is what the New Democrat stands for. When you're popularizing your party with the people, what do you tell them? What do we stand for as the New Democrats?
Yes, we want to eradicate poverty, want to eradicate poverty in Kenya, and the first step of eradicating poverty is to provide this cow, because it will give them milk as food. It will give them, when they sell their milk, it will give them money. They can be able to do their work and so forth.
When will you start distributing the cows?
But
when will you start distributing the cows?
We at the moment now, I have investors from many. Some are from Saudi Arabia, and from other places also where we are interested. We supply embryos of a cow called flekfia. So with these groups of 10 give us a surrogate cow. So we give them this embryo, and then the calf will grow, and then that calf, which will will
reproduce.
Then from there now, the second generation of the cow will now be giving the people milk.
Okay.
Yes.
How do people qualify for this cow? Maybe somebody is listening and they're wondering, okay, so groups of 10 will receive cows from the New Democrats. How do they qualify?
If there is we have a website, a small website which is being developed, and they can reach that website and also call me on, because I'm the chairman of that group. We are doing it under what they call PPP, private-public partnership. The private investor, and I stand for the public and partnership.
So the investor is putting in, so they want a return.
Yeah, of course, they want return.
Okay. Which means the 10 people who receive must pay something.
Yeah, they will invest in.
It's a big book, huh?
Yeah, it's something like that.
It's like a certificate, huh?
It's like a checkbook.
Ah.
Yes.
It's a checkbook.
Oh, it's a really big checkbook.
Okay. John, maybe you can also. The Fleckwich Cow Limited. Fleckview Cow Limited. So this is it, huh?
Yeah.
I see.
So that's the company. If everything is there, if somebody even you put
county, constituency, ward, polling center, and then names of the 10 people who are recipients with an ID number and tracking, and from month 1 up to month 9, they pay 10,080.
Yes, every month is you save
1,120.
That's your saving per month.
Okay.
There's a question that has been in my mind, and I have to ask it because I know we're going.
And then behind,
yes, go ahead.
Eric, look at behind that
on the second page of it.
Behind,
yeah. Huh?
You see, I was in Egypt, and I was touching I was wondering this pyramid. What is at the top? The peak, the apex. So when I touched it, that revelation came out.
So Canaan for you essentially is having the people of Kenya free from poverty.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
And according to you, you don't need to be in a presidential position to be able to lead the charge for that to happen.
I will guide them because I'm not. I don't know because I haven't been given that ambition. Because
Okay.
When God spoke to me, told me to take my people to Canaan, land of Milk and Honey, and this is the way we are doing. I told him, why can you send somebody else? Said, no, you go, you will get your brothers there, will do whatever.
And it needed to come in form of a political party.
Yeah, because the people are rooted from day one. We made a mistake by having symbols of political parties as idols. So God has given us a bridge to cross.
And we've been having a conversation with David Sudi, former member of parliament for Marakwet West. He wants to come back into parliament in Marakwet West, but also he's a party leader of the New Democrats, talking about how do we empower the people, and he's been explaining to us how this happens. As we wait for the cows that may come through this political party, we have jobs on offer today.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.